So much will revolve around this man, Ben Hunt. His 2022 could not have been much better. Part of the World Cup winning side, in fact the starting dummy half, clinched the winning try in Origin, second in the Dally M, but still all his exploits in club footy couldn't lift them to the finals.
As a team they need to improve defensively, there's no doubt about that, but in terms of scoring points, slowing this man on your screen, I think he needs to combine with Ben Hunt. Ben Hunt, 21 try assists last year. He was a lone ranger when it comes to scoring points, but Ken Sloan, Moses Mbye gets his start today at 5'8". Can they help and add to the Ben Hunt show?
It is in the mid-30s here in Mudgee. It is stifling. There will be drinks breaks. James Hooper will tell us more in just a moment. But here we go. It's the Charity Shield. It's St George Illawarra against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. And we're on our way. It's a bumper Super Saturday in the NRL pre-season. It's Penrith versus St Helens next for the World Club Challenge, and then the Broncos and the Cowboys. But enjoy this to start the day. It was Isaac Thompson first to hit it up, followed on by Keon Kalao-Matangi, who'll play it back now for Damien Cook. Players like Cook and also Cody Walker signing extensions, so they're going to be at this club for a long, long time. Tavita Totola. He's 26, really in his prime now. Tom Burgess, almost, in fact, beyond the 40, closing in on halfway. Cam Murray with a bit of space to work with. Thought about the offload. It's a very efficient opening set from South. As it's Cody Walker now, putting boot to ball. And a chase here from Johnston and also Isaiah Tass. Jacob Host there as well. And that is textbook stuff from South Sydney. They played Manly last week. Most of the stars not there, but Manly winning 30-28. St George Illawarra went down to St Helens in the Gong. So the 100,000 prize, that's long gone for these two clubs. But the Charity Shield is what they're playing for today. Zane Musgrove is the man who is about to play it after spending 3 years at the Tigers as they work the short side. Ben Murdoch-Masila, another new Dragon, with Jacob Little in the 9 jersey. Of course, Andrew McCulloch retiring during the year. There's an old Dragon, Blake Laurie, put down by Burgess and Cook. So Hunt getting plenty of air and a fair bit of distance as well on this. And Johnston is back for South Sydney as we send it down to James Hooper. Hello, Jimmy.
G'day, Dan. G'day, Cooper. Afternoon, everybody. Look, it might be 36 degrees and scorching in the central west town of Mudgee in New South Wales, but that hasn't stopped the fans coming out in force for this Charity Shield. They've got the fold-out chairs. They've got the umbrellas. We are going to have drinks breaks because of these oppressive conditions, Dan, so we'll see them at the 20-minute mark and also the 60-minute mark.
Yeah, no one's debating the validity of that, that's for sure. As here's Murray at the line onto Walker. The tap on, that was lovely. And that from Tass gives Johnston a little bit of space. Almost up to the 30 here on tackle number 5. With Host jumping in at dummy half. This is a touch discombobulated, but still the kick from young Ilias. And Tyrell Sloan given no chance. Well, I'll tell you what, they're straight into the groove, the Bunnies.
Yeah, finding their rhythm, both teams actually. You know, the Dragons fighting off their own try line, but nice couple of 2 kicks. First one from Walker and that one Ilias. Little clunky as you called it for the trial to start with, but high percentage plays, and that's one area they need to improve this year, South Sydney. It's their long-range kicking game. Build pressure on the opposition, and they've started well here.
So the Dragons again pinned here. Of course, they're doing this today. Billy Burns, that was, hitting it up, followed up by Murdoch-Masila, without DeBellin, Bird, Ramsey and Armone, and there's an error there, so South Sydney will get the ball back here on halfway.
If there's one thing you don't want to do against South Sydney in any game of football, it's give them early possession in attacking zones. Cody Walker, Latrell Mitchell just fall into rhythm here. They'll set up shape, and it's one thing that they've based their season on, the ability to score points and be effective every time they get the ball in attacking systems. So here come Dragons. They need to improve defensively, but that left side, watch for this here.
Just make sure you hold. Nice and tight here. That's it, Tyler. Hold together. Jaden, head in. Okay, clock off, stay in tight.
A little bit of a breeze here in Mudgee as Ilias feeds the scrum. There's Latrell going for a run. Only 3 runs last week in Rotorua. Oh, Tom Burgess met heavily. Blake Laurie all over him. Little and Musgrove chiming in also. Big smile on the face of Tom Burgess. His season ended against the Roosters last year. He was wiped out of the rest of South Sydney's games. Now it comes to Murray. Passing to Mitchell. Now it comes to Tass. 2 on 3, so Tass just takes the tackle on the 20. Most again jumping into dummy half. Cook at first receiver. And that, just the setup play here as it comes to the last. There's Mitchell on the left. And that's where it goes. Mitchell. Oh, he gave it to Host. Host couldn't hang on to it. Doubtful Host could have got through anyway. So the Dragons survived their first real defensive test.
Interesting from South Sydney, they go that lethal left edge, but no Cody Walker involved in that whole set. It was Mitchell with 2 touches and a little play here to the back rower, but couldn't catch it. So South Sydney trying to mix it up. They must have been moving Cody Walker to the right-hand side as Ben Hunt goes for an early kick.
Oof, he's got some on that. Now that...
And that...
Is that a 20-40?
Very good.
Is that a 20-40? That is an enormous kick.
Play the ball.
That's a hell of a play from the captain halfback, because when we think about the last set, Mitchell had 2 touches, and Mitchell, if we get a shot of this, is way out of position.
No, just outside the 20 there.
Does it go 40-20?
Or just short. Well, does get them at least better field position.
Anthony Griffin said that Ben Hunt has seen the game much more clearly now in his older age, but that's a hell of a play early on this contest. To see Latrell out of position, he got an early kick away.
So one lucky there from Hunt, but South Sydney now with Kalamatangi. There's the record, 17-17, 5 draws. One of the quirks, all 5 draws have favoured South. They've been the holders of the shield when those draws have occurred, so they've retained it. Because that goes back before the merger between St George and Illawarra. Mudgee hosting this game for the 6th time as Cook getting it on. Murray down the middle. He's got Burgess. Gives it to Burgess, and Burgess scores the first try. So Cam Murray with the last pass. Tom Burgess slamming it down. And South Sydney go 80 metres in a hurry to open the scoring.
We're just talking about the old firm again, the combination. Straight through the heartbeat of the Dragons' defence. Damien Cook gets out quick, nice tempo play, and picks up Cam Murray just pushing a hole, and Burgess follows through. But this is South Sydney 101. If it's not Walker and Latrell, it's these 2 guys through the middle third of the field. Cook speed, Murray support, and Burgess just turns up in the right place at the right time. But that's beautiful combination from the 9 and the 13, straight through the heart of the defence of the Dragons.
He's become a weapon with his try-scoring prowess. He scored 4 at the World Cup. Jason Demetrio pretty happy with that. So Burgess is now, Tom played the most of any of the Burgess boys in the NRL, bringing up 200 last year. And Mitchell tucks it inside the right upright. So it's South Sydney 6, St George Illawarra 0. Down to James Hooper.
The Bunnies' big guns combining brilliantly there as we see Damien Cook out of dummy half. Dan, Cam Murray, we know how dangerous he is through the middle of the field. And Tom Burgess suiting up for his 11th season now with the Rabbits. He's played 210 games in the red and green. Of course, he represented England at the World Cup. And crucially, he missed that preliminary final against Penrith last year when he was suspended.
Indeed, they could have used him. I believe this is the last year of his current contract, so that will be interesting how that plays out through the year. So South's on the board. And that's Lachlan Ilias. Giving it to Tavita Totola. Cam Murray back in the middle. His exploits on the edge were there for everyone to see at the World Cup. In fact, he was in the team of the World Cup tournament. You put him anywhere, he's going to give you in your team plenty. There's Host. Former Dragon, 5 years at the club. There's Murray, catching and passing. Ilias. Oh, Kalama-Tungi wanted to get it onto Campbell Graham, but chopped down there. There's Cook weaving. Now Ilias working the short side. There's Campbell Graham. And South Sydney easily make it over halfway again. Metres, not a problem for the red and greens. So it's going to be Walker to kick. End over end. Lots of height on it. Wind doesn't do all that much. As Sloan just happy to distribute here to Lomax. And all over him is Murray with Kalama-Tungi as well. Well, they're getting the simple things right, aren't they, South? Completion rate 4 from 4. Ravalawa there playing it. This is the former Rabbitoh, Jaden Sewer. Played a grand final for South. Blake Laurie. Over 100 metres last week against St Helens, and good finish to last year. Plenty of big metre games as they cross the halfway line. Yes, there's Blake Laurie. 26 now. Zane Musgrove. He played the All-Stars game last week. 6 again here for the Dragons. You heard that sound, so that gives them their best field position so far. And Lomax can't evade Graham. Now the loose ball for Hunt. Musgrove straight into Ilias and Kalama-Tungi and Murray, and there's an offload. Little does well to keep it. Gets back on his feet. Escapes Burgess, but not Ilias. So 2 tackles left. So it's fired out to Hunt. On it goes to M by the 5'8", and he has to concede. He and Sewer there getting in each other's road. Last play. Back to the open side. Again, a little disjointed. Hunt's kick. Oh, great catch, Campbell Graham. Immense pressure from Lomax, but Graham comes down with it.
Yeah, you got multiple sets then, the Dragons, but that was a poor set. Yeah, Rose Zembai went out to the right-hand side. Jaden Sewer about 1.5 metres in front when he wanted a ball play. And it was up to Ben Hunt to come up with a kick. So they got the repeat set. They had to come up with something better than that, but it was just poor timing on the edge from Sewer and that combination of Moses Zembai.
Is one of the questions that needs to be answered. Talatawa Moan, doesn't look like we're going to see him anytime soon. So that number 6 role, Mbai did not play there all last year. Played number 9, played fullback, played centre, played off the bench, but has played plenty of halves in years gone by. Jaden Sullivan we'll see him come into the game.
Said that in the interview pre-game that Jaden Sullivan will get plenty of time today. We'll see how that combination works.
Oh, there's a bit of space for Tass. He gets it on. Johnston, not the cleanest ball. Doesn't panic. Gets it on to Walker. Oh, Cody Walker can score tries. And he goes under the posts. And South Sydney just punished the Dragons. Punished them after that poor set. 10 points to nothing.
Yeah, you call it, Dan. Poor set from the Dragons. They give away a penalty. Latrell kicks it out. And that is silky smooth ball playing from Cody Walker. Have a look at this. Out the back of shape. Nice straight flat pass to Tass, who hits inside Ravalawa. And look at this. Combination work in the backfield. And the man who started, Cody Walker, with a pass ends up finishing it. But that is repetition, just training run at its best. And they don't miss a beat, South Sydney. Their ability to fall into shape, it's predictable, you can see it coming, but the execution piece is outstanding, top shelf.
So Sully, the man who was racing in, the gap opening up for Isaiah Tass, who was very good in his first season with South last year, the boy from Mackay. And Cody Walker. He scored 82 tries in the top grade. He's almost at 1 every 2 games. It's an outstanding strike rate for a man who piles on try assists. The Bunnies now out to a 12-0 lead after 13 minutes. James Hooper.
the Bunnies' big guns on fire early, Dan. And this man, Cody Walker, now 33 years of age. He inked a 2-year deal over the course of the summer. And the Bunnies faithful, weren't they happy to see it? It means, along with those statistics that you've just outlined, he will still be wearing the red and green age 35 and getting better with age at this point.
Indeed. And remember, he started late. I don't think he made his debut until 26 in the NRL, and got his coach's ticket over the summer, so he's got the next stage of his life planned out. Cody Walker. He's going to keep drawing comparisons to Cliff Lyons. The longer he goes on, the more ageless he becomes. And what's happened here? It's out on the full. It's smart play there. Isaac Thompson was out on the wing. Tyrell Sloan making the error.
We spoke about it before. When Souths smell blood in the water, they sense it. This is not the way you want to play against them, giving them good possession, attacking your own goal line. Just sit back and watch this set from South Sydney. Just watch the rhythm they fall into. It'll be Damien Cook into Cam Murray, and then it's Latrell and Cody at the back of that.
So just bumping it up here is Burgess. Their tries. Burgess the first, Cody Walker moments ago. And that is loose. Oh, Cooper.
There we go.
Cooper.
Nice, fluent, smooth, good ball attack there from South Sydney. Damien Cook. Sorry about that, Damien. Just cursed the start.
We see, oh, geez, he's not happy about that. He might have a little case-act loose, and a lot of forward passes out of dummy half during this trial period. And not exactly delighted. Beautiful stand here in Mudgee. I'm getting a little bit of relief at the moment with just a cloud blocking the sun momentarily. As Blank Lorry bustled into the ground. And we'll have a drinks break in about 5.5 minutes. Billy Burns came from the Penrith club. Now a sprightly run from Jacob Little. 7 years at the Wests Tigers, 73 first grade games. Mbai in a dummy half. Hunt providing for Murdoch Masilla. Last 2 seasons spent at the Warriors. Lomax. Hunt going sideways. Across to Mbai. The cut out to Sewer. Sully, a hard runner, but chopped down. Johnston. Bringing Sully down. Now, the last here, this could be a contest. Could be a contest. No, it's Isaac Thompson. Very tidy catch. Could be a big day for him as Graham rides the bump. Tane Milne unavailable for the start of the season. Jackson Paolo, of course, gone to the Roosters. So Isaac Thompson, the late bloomer, gave up on rugby league, Isaac, and could find himself in the round 1 side against Cronulla. Is now Walker. Hello, here it comes now for Tass as the defence sweeps across. Johnston over halfway. Post. Oh, lost it. Well, after going 6 from 6, the Bunnies, they've now failed to complete their last 2 sets.
It's a good start, South Sydney, as you called with the stats, Dan, but for the Dragons at the moment, they're very clunky in attack. Moses Sully looked like he had a good run, but that was his first touch. The only thing they look like scoring at the moment is the Ben Hunt kick to Lomax with his aerial ability. So you talk about the combinations for South Sydney, like the old firm gelling. Well, you know, Little's new to the club, Ben Hunt's there, Sloan's been in now the side, Mozambique gets the first chance. So the spine of the Dragons really need to get some repetitions in, particularly in today's game and at training for them to be in sync for round 1. They've got the bye actually round 1, so it'll be round 2 for the Dragons.
Yeah, it's a funny start of the season, isn't it? They don't play for 22 days. And when they do take to the field, it'll be the last game of round number 2, a Sunday night at home, Cogra against the Gold Coast. So there'll be 15 games of NRL before we see the Red V. Here's Musgrove. 12 days away, the premiership. Hunt. Swiveled around by Cook. Sharp play the ball, allows Little to run. Now bringing Murdoch-Masilla into it. And the familiar Murdoch-Masilla offload. Sloan now on. Sewer engaging with Tass. Tass does enough. Just a setup, it seems, here. Host on a second attempt on Blake Laurie. What have they got here on this last tackle? Mbai at first receiver. On to Sewer. Oh, he gets a result. Gets a result there. It wasn't the most challenging kick, it would seem, but just it couldn't be grabbed by Isaiah Tass. Didn't come off the boot probably the way Sewer was thinking, but hoping. But they get it back.
An ineffective play down the short side of fifth play. Mozambique didn't create anything for Sewer. They had to come up with a kick that they got lucky with the hands of Tass. So the Dragons in these first 20 minutes, just their attack is not fluent. It's just not consistent enough for them to say they're going to be scoring points here this afternoon.
Let's go, guys.
Tough that one for Tass. Probably came to him slower than he thought, and quick reaction. And Dragons now another set in scoring range. Cash in as we approach this first drinks break. Now comes your little set play, it seems. Tyrell Sloan takes on Walker, and Walker needs help and gets it from Host. Get up here from Burns. Dry arrow into the game there at second marker. Sully, one of the hardest running centres in the game. Little. Zimbai for Hunt. Hunt, cut out ball. Sloan, Lomax, early pass. Oh, Fine gets it down in the corner. And there's a forward pass.
This is a skill execution on the end of shape. Ben Hunt does a tremendous job to condense the defenders. Ilias bites in and just sack Lomax. All he had to do was catch and pass and give Fine a chance, but the referee in the sideline referee has called it forward and got the call right. But Ben Hunt, great lead-up work, but Lomax had to jump on the back of that and execute that pass.
Behind the line. Heads in.
Zach Lomax. Been around for a while, it seems. Still just 23.
Oh, break.
So this will be the last set before this drinks break, you imagine. Arrow. His third year at Redfern. Murray always looks dangerous when he runs up the middle. Pretty satisfying first stint from Tom Burgess. Might be his only stint, we wait and see. Here comes Kalamatangi popping it to Ilias, but Lomax was all over him and Ilias holds on to it. Don't be fooled by the cloud cover. It is still stifling. Mid-30s in Mudgee. Ilias now. Sloan taking it and dragged back inside his 10. He needs all the help he can get here from Fiona. Campbell Graham showing strength. Lomax barely to the 10. This is hard yakka for the Dragons. Fiona charges at them. Ravalawa. Be hoping to get a lot more football in 2023. Limited last year by injury, limited the year before by a few suspensions. There's a strong run from Musgrove. They've got out of it here, the Dragons. Rolled the sleeves up. I guess they're waiting for a break in play for this break as it comes now here for Sewer. And he slips past, then gets it on. Sloan with the kick that needs to sit up, and it's just tapped on by Johnston.
Goal line drop out. Yep.
Well, that's a very good end of the set there for the Dragons, considering they were in quicksand.
Well, with a set that started with Tyrell Sloan on his back, quickly end up with a try-scoring opportunity, and this is where they've looked dangerous. Early ball to Sewer, Moses Suley on the outside and support play and offload, and the skill of Tyrell Sloan to catch and kick in one moment, and Alex Johnson to save the day.
Good bit of speed there for Moses Mbai. He's still got plenty in the legs there as that ends the first period of this game, with the South Sydney top liners opening up this 12-0 lead. Tyrell Sloan, it's going to be a big year for him, you'd think, with that fullback spot up for grabs. Rabbitohs, that is a brutal start of the season. Cronulla at Cronulla, Penrith at Penrith, Roosters at Allianz Stadium. You know that's going to be a big event. And then it continues on with Manly, and all of a sudden Manly look like they could be an imposing team. That's, of course, if trial form counts, but boy, they were good last night. And then Melbourne in round 5, that's got to be as tough as it gets.
And the first 3 all away from home too, so that is basically outside of Manly. That's the top 8 right there. They're 4 of the top 8 from last year, and imagine they got history against all those teams. Panthers, prelim final, grand final, against the Roosters. We talk about that last 2 games, one the regular season and week 1 of the finals last year, and then obviously the Storm as well. So, and then the Dragons, the first 5. Well, we spoke about earlier, they're the ones that miss out on round 1, and then their fans and members don't get to see until the Titans on Sunday afternoon of round 2. And they got the Broncos, Sharks, and the new team, the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's not a savage start to the draw. If they're good enough, they could get off to a decent start. Cronulla, the only team in that bunch that made the top 8 last year. So it'll be a line dropout to get play back underway here. Yes, you can see plenty of big hats and hopefully lots of slip, slop, slapping. Had been rain forecast. And in fact, we're getting close to that period now, so we might get a thunderstorm sooner rather than later. Now, Mitchell was very good at this last year. My word, that's got some distance on it. Lomax parrying it back. That's just about the perfect line dropout, in that it gives their chasers a chance, but still gets enough distance to force the Dragons to burn a couple of tackles to get it up to the 10. Hunt for Mbai on the angle. That's a good pass. Ravalawa. Oh, Johnston pummels him over the sideline. Ravalawa getting some pats on the back here, but it's going up as no try.
Yeah, Alex Johnston gets a lot of raps importance for his try-scoring ability, but this is very good defensive play from the winger. Quick play the ball. Moses Mbai was coming, and just look at the way that Alex Johnson defends 2 players. One, Moses Suley, gets off and gets good body contact on Ravalawa. If he stays in, but he stepped out early.
Probably stepped out, yeah.
But Johnston gets across and makes a good tackle.
Yeah, that's out. That's planted. It's probably a better result for the Dragons. We don't think Ravalawa got it down, so it becomes a 10-metre play the ball for South, not 20-metre tap, 7 tackles.
But here this afternoon, the Dragons need quicker play the balls. That said, he got a couple of quick ones. Moses Mbai was over the advantage line after Ben Hunt giving the ball. Johnson hit him with everything, but that's the way the Dragons need to play. Quicker play the balls, and then get the ball to Moses Suley or Zach Lomax on the outside.
He was bundled out, and the ball came out, so he didn't plan it one way or the other. So South Sydney now, as changes start to come into this contest. Ryan Matunley staying in the game. Jai Arrow swarmed in upon. Their players missing Hame Saliva Havili. They would be, certainly Havili and probably Celia as well, would be in the starting 17 for round 1 if they were available. Other than that, it's pretty much full strength. Here's a kick from Walker. Now Johnston puts the foot down. The awkward bounce, but Sloan doesn't panic and then evades. Davey Moala into the game. He's the man in 21. Rabbitohs. Here's Aaron Woods, back for another season. And gets an offload. Ooh, Mbai hustled into the ground. This is Josh Kerr.
Moses Mbai into dummy half and Jaden Sullivan in the 5'8" position for the Dragons.
There is Sullivan now working it away to Sewer. Sewer having a good battle with Isaiah Tass. He won that little battle, Sewer, but Tass cleaning up the mess. Last tackle, Hunt trying to kick the belly of the ball here, get one of these wobblers happening. It's not an easy one. Oh, Thompson does well. Second good catch from him this afternoon. Campbell Graham under Mitchell. That's his second run for the day. Oh, Zach Thompson, great story. Debuted against the Warriors on the Sunshine Coast.
On the mark. Come on, mate.
Hadn't played in 5 years, Coop, and his mate Hame Seller actually talked him back into it. And made it back into first grade, or into first grade. Good for him. And here's Aaron and by up top, Frank Molo. The 16, Jacob Host started the game.
Francis, both feet. Go.
Nice Walker. Let's boot the ball. Oh, Sloan, he went up in a manner he probably didn't need to. And it's a knock on.
Forward into the South player. It's got a scrum. Middle.
So went up above them, but he didn't probably have to put so much leap onto that. Now, another chance for South. Their first in a little while.
Look at the athleticism to get up. And I think you called it right. He jumped so high, it was a bit of hang time, and obviously didn't catch the ball where he wanted to. That's the part where Tyrell Sloan needs to improve. I think we can see the attacking brilliance in his game, but fullbacks these days need to be consistent under the high ball. They need to carry the ball hard and tough, but also marshal the defence. If the Dragons can improve this year, Tyrell Sloan's going to have to be the main man to dominate defensively.
And a huge gap opens up. That is simple for Latrell Mitchell. Off the scrum, South get their third. That's concerning.
This was way too easy for South Sydney, Latrell Mitchell and Damien Cook. Have a look at this. Damien Cook at the back of the scrum, and he is gone before even any Dragons player reacts. And I dare say that is Tyrell Sloan's position to get across from the back of the scrum. Aaron Woods doesn't go. Ben Murdoch-Masila can't get there. Ben Hunt gets turned in, and that is the speed of Damien Cook, but that is poor reaction from the Dragons forwards, and particularly Tyrell Sloan defending at lock in the scrum.
Latrell Mitchell crossing with just his third run. 25 years of age now, Latrell. 20 try assists last year. It was here, actually, he played for South for the first time. His first touch was a try assist a few years ago now. So Mitchell, as we see the cloud starting to make a real impression, Mitchell's goal makes it 18 points to 0. James Hooper.
And he's a crowd favourite here in central western New South Wales in Mudgee. Dan, they have loved the fact that Latrell Mitchell has powered over. And I must say, watching him in the warm-up, we often say with Latrell, but he looks fitter at the moment than possibly we have ever seen him. Now, part of the reasoning behind that might be when his old coach Wayne Bennett was in charge at the Bunnies, he didn't have to do the wrestle. He got a leave pass from that element of training. This time around, over the course of this off-season, he's been wrestling with Sammy Burgess. He looks in tip-top shape.
That's it. That's it. Thank you, Jimmy, is coming from the World Cup, and there's a penalty here. That's a high tackle that's going to put them in another precarious position.
I feel for Sam Burgess because I've seen Latrell Mitchell wrestle, and he would throw you off every wall in the wrestle arena the way that he can manhandle
Just
people.
natural strength.
Oh, yeah. He's scary when it comes to the wrestle, mat. So there's no doubt that that side of it, as he's missed the kick and has he found touch? Yes, he has.
Oh, he has. It's a great result. So Sam's going to be listening to this, and he's going to take that as a challenge, as an affront. Just, by the way, there's some storm activity a little north of here. It looks like it's going to hit Gulgong, which is about 30 kilometres up the road, but there's absolute thumper on the way. That's west at the moment, but coming towards here, so we'll see if that makes an impression before full time. Now, the radar suggesting that one's going to blow away, but who knows? Now, Davey Moale up to the 20. Outside, inside, Murray down the middle, holds it, gets it on, another try. Jacob Host scores. It's clinical. It's too good. It's South Sydney with their hands, it would seem, on this Charity Shield.
Yeah, outstanding play from South Sydney. This time, it's not Mitchell or Cody Walker, young Lachlan Ilias. Now, Souths have only had 2 tackles in the opposition 20-metre zone, and they've scored 4 tries. That's how effective they are. Look at this, over the advantage line, the defence of the Dragons comes in, and Ilias spots it, plays to the leg speed of Cam Murray back inside. That's done. That's through the backfield, and Jaio finishes, but great reaction there from Lachlan Ilias. He had every intention to play at the back to Cody Walker. Once the defence from the inside of the Dragons gave him the cue to play back inside, Cam Murray was the go-to, and Arrow finished it.
So, a 4th try. Ilias. Headlines were made when, of course, he was yanked from that game against the Dragons down in Wollongong, but the truth is they were being spanked right across the park. Jason Demetrio to this day says it was the right call, but apart from that, a very good first full season, 26 games, and it didn't seem to be too big for him this stage.
Watch this kick go, but he's very solid, Ilias, in his first year. He was the general play kicker, allowed Cody Walker and Latrell to do their thing, but there's one thing that he needs to improve. He's got that combination with Chloe Matangi on the right edge, but a little bit more effectiveness in terms of scoring tries, running the ball, and creating for his other players, because he does a great job setting up, but can he become more a threat around the middle of the ruck? It's
the advice of one of the most prolific, one of the great halfbacks, Cooper Cronk. So 24-0. Yeah, played for Greece at the last World Cup. 22 years of age.
Stay on side.
Looks like Isaiah Tass might have changed sides here. He's been on South Sydney's left. Now goes to the right. Davey Moale, still just 19. 14 first-grade games to his name. Kalama Tangi. Played for Tonga over in the UK. Arrow first receiver. Walker slipping past Sewer. Tell you what, they might have done a rain dance in the north of England, because I'm being told thunderstorm activity, a big possibility around the Penrith area. Oh, through the hands, and the confidence is gone at the moment for Tyrell Sloan. That was the easiest one, and just nowhere near it.
As we spoke about it earlier, as fullbacks, you need to do the high percentage plays and take these catches no matter how difficult they are. One, you've got to compete and fight in every play, but two, particularly when you're playing South Sydney, do not give them attacking ball. And there's another scrum. We just saw Latrell score a try off Damien Cook involvement off the back of the scrum. And here goes again for South Sydney. What will they show? Trying to get Alex Johnson in the left-hand corner through big left shift.
Walker spinning. Oh, what a pass! Johnston for the line, has to fling it back in field, but he's gone out.
Play the ball.
Well, we're used to dynamic passes from Cody Walker.
Middle. Play the ball.
It was a beauty, but Johnston, as he desperately tried to fling it in. Well, now, has that come off Sloan, and did he play at it?
Play the ball just here. Just that mark there, John. We're behind
It's come
the line,
off
you
Sloan,
guys,
but...
both feet. Lachlan, both feet here. Lachlan.
I'll tell you what I love about the Walker-Johnston combination is when they think, Walker particularly, when you think he can't throw a pass, he is all in, chips in, and he goes for it. And normally comes up with it. When you've got the finishing ability of Alex Johnston, why not? He went within a whisker there of putting the ball down.
It's probably the fair decision. Yes, Sloan touched it, but there's no way he was playing at that ball as the shift comes out here for Lomax. Now it's a line ball up to Kerr, and Kerr's got nowhere to go. So just 6 minutes and 40 seconds left. A dominant first half from South. Mbai. Finishes halfway, but this is the last tackle. Sullivan a dummy half for the Ben Hunt kick. And Mitchell there, he had not Sewer, that's Josh Kerr all over him. But South Sydney, 13 from 16 now their completion, so they had a couple in a row there after a perfect start, but they've cleaned it up again. Jack Mitchell. He's now lost a whopping 51 kilos from his peak a few years ago. Arrow tearing them up the middle. Now Walker, it's the last tackle, so it goes to the air again. This time it's going to be Ravalawa under it. That's an easy one, no real pressure. Walker following through on the kick, getting a bit of help. That's in the foreground there. Josiah Karapani, a centre for South in the 18 jersey. So this just the first half of a big day here on Fox League. Penrith and St Helens is on after this, the World Club Challenge, and then the Broncos and the Cowboys. Late start, 7:55 Queensland time and 8:55 Eastern. So footy all night here on Fox. Sullivan distributing, Sewer getting it on, Sully threatening. He was allowed to do that, he hadn't been tackled. So Sewer can just saunter over halfway. That's gone backwards as Woods on the Hunt. This is all on tackle 4. And out of all that, they've advanced it near the 30. Sewer there being treated. Hunt's kick here. Here comes Lomax. No risk from Mitchell.
Play the ball. Play the ball, Ben.
The Dragons look the best when they're sort of offloading the ball and promoting, particularly to this right-hand side through Sewer and Moses Sully. They try to play the power game through the middle third forwards, but don't get the power, don't get the quick play the balls for this man in your screen to do the damage. So I think Anthony Griffin needs to sort of tinker around with his forward pack to get more momentum for the halfback, because outside of going to Sewer and Sully on this right edge, this is the contact that they're checking for Jaden Sewer, but they need to develop quicker play balls through the middle third.
But more of it inside the 20 than South Sydney have at the other end. Nothing to show for it so far. Frank Molo, mostly a starting prop last year. Mbai's going to keep it going down the short side. Murdoch Masilla. Oh, he's strong, isn't he, Campbell Graham?
Hold the line again. Wait, Lachlan.
Hunt has to wait for it. There goes himself. Nice footwork. That's fine. Molo for a flat-footed Woods. That's tackle number 4.
Release, Jacob. Hold, go 4. Cody.
Hunt flat and going without it is Josh Kerr. And there's a penalty here. So 6 more tackles coming the way of the Red V.
At the moment, it's all pressure passing in the line, and then the offload comes, and Ben Hunt does some nice footwork back to the left-hand side, but there's just no movement, no penetration past the inside shoulder of the South Sydney defence. So Ben Hunt is trying here, but he needs to get his players in the right spot and get some quicker play the balls for him to get over the advantage line.
Hello to everyone just flicked over. Lunch in the cricket.
Lunch in the cricket.
So that score tells the story. Dominant display from South. Hunt hitting it on. Sullivan. Had Sully on the inside, went to Sewer on the outside. Been an impressive defensive display from South. With the Dragons, a little concerning so far. Sullivan. One-on-one Walker. Kalamatangi called offside, but not involved here. There's Kerr on tackle number 4. 2 minutes to go in this first half. South looking to keep a clean sheet. Woods. Up. Sloane's cut out. Murdoch Masilla and Fairnay puts it down.
Good defence from South Sydney. They've been under pressure on their try line numerous times. 14 times the Dragons have had a tackle inside South's 20-metre zone for no points. South Sydney movement defensively is really spot on in this first half. Now, particularly this right edge, I like what they've done. If there was an area of the South Sydney's defence last year they need to improve, it was the right edge. They allowed way too many tries compared to the left. And in the first half here, Charity Shield, they've really stood up and put the Dragons away.
Look at that, 26 tackles to 13 in the opposition half. But that's South Sydney's hallmark. They are so efficient in attack. So slick, so crisp.
On the mark.
Kalamatangi now
Go.
eventually playing it. So 4 tries to nothing. Tom Burgess, Jai Arrow, Cody Walker, Latrell Mitchell.
Look here, both feet. Go, good work too.
They have more tries than tackles in the opposition 20.
Francis releasing, we're behind the line. All the way, Aaron. Go, 3.
Ilias. Kalamatangi cutting back in field. Shaq Mitchell. Gets through Mbai. Not through Molo Frank. Well, Michael, we'll see him later. There's a high tackle with 18 seconds to go.
You might not think it, but you got him high.
Well, what do they do here? Do they practice a play that they might need at some stage during the season with only one play to work with, or do they just take the 2 and have a breather in these stifling conditions?
Practice, come up with one of those plays. Don't look like they're getting ready for any shake.
I think they've had enough. I think they've said we've burned 40 minutes of energy. That's enough. And we're going to have to start checking record books here. Biggest Charity Shield margins, because they're usually pretty close games. (30-6). Oh no, 48-16 2 years ago. South Sydney thumping the Dragons. So 32 points, the biggest margin. But obviously a lot of these players who are about to exit the field will exit the game. Mitchell 4 from 4 today. Into the wind here. Oh, that's a beautiful kick. If it holds, yes, it does. And a thoroughly dominant 40 minutes from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The signs for them are good. So it continues to be warm here. The shadows just starting to creep across the ground from the grandstand here. Here we go, second half. Biggest win, 32 points a couple of years ago. And South Sydney at 26 at the moment. It's St George Illawarra with first use, and we see Campbell, Graham, Keon, Kalamatangi still in the game. So lots of the guns here for South are staying out there. Davey Moale, he might be there round 1 against Cronulla. As Woods labouring into Cook and Host, and Kalamatangi as well. Mbai keeping it going now. Josh Kerr's offload. Well, eventually sees Frank Molo driving it close to halfway. Here's Sullivan. Oh, a little outside, inside. And they can't get through to the end of the set as Shaq Mitchell picks it up and brings it back to halfway. So South here. Already an opportunity. Ilias using a decoy for Walker. And there's 6 more tackles coming as Host closing in on the 20. There's Arrow. There's Cook. Ilias. Oh, Karapani there. It was Rabbitohs who made contact with him. It comes here to Arrow. That's only tackle 2. Now it comes out to the open side. Moale. Well, they've scored some soft ones today, but not there. Moale well handled by Woods and Murdoch Masilla. And now Shaq Mitchell trying to crash through here, South Sydney. Shaq plays it. And now, oh, Ilias, and if the pass was on the money, that would have been a real chance for Jacob Gagai, but it was hurried and Gagai couldn't haul it in.
The Dragons' first set, 7th error of the game, turned the ball over. And a little different shape here from South Sydney. Not on that left edge, it's Cody Walker Latrell, but it was Lachlan Ilias out the back of shape. And the pass was on. Just poor execution, but Ilias flipping from right side to the left to start this second half. It had an opportunity, but needed to hit Gagai on the chest. It would have been a try.
Here's Kerr. It's their 10th offload, by the way, so I haven't seen 10 brought up too many times in this pre-season challenge. That was number 11. Now Sloan. He got through Walker. He was away.
Budgie out of play.
Now comes to Hunt. Sloan out of dummy half. Little short side. Ray to Sewer with the flip. Boy, it's not happening for the Dragons.
And the face of Anthony Griffin says it all. 2 sets, 2 errors to start this second half. And Tyrell Sloan gets down the short side. And they look quite dangerous, the ball in hand in the first half. That Sewer-Moses-Sully combination, but Anthony Griffin to start the second half. Captain's challenge.
Yeah, it didn't appear as though
looking to determine if the ball is knocked on by the Rabbitohs.
It appeared maybe it brushed his waist or hip. Yeah, that's missed him.
Just looking for another angle to determine if there's a touch by the Rabbitohs or whether Moses Sully is the only knock on.
Okay, so it's... I'm not sure anyone's touched that.
Ball is knocked on by Moses Sully. There is no touch from the Rabbitohs. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Okay.
Challenge unsuccessful.
So that's the end of that. Am I blind? Have I missed something there, Coop? I didn't see one. Anyway.
They haven't started this second half well at all because that was poor 2 sets, 2 errors, poor captain's challenge. And again, Anthony Griffin must be fuming in there. He would have spoken about things they need to address. And they just haven't gone out to execute the game plan or done anything they would have spoken about in the first half. Half-time chat. Look at him.
He's been a one-man meme today. Every time we go up there, he's got an expression which says it all. Oh, that's come out. Now, was it a strip? Yes, it was.
Ben Hunt, the man in, put his hands around the ball and ripped it out. I gave the commentators curse earlier about the good ball attack. Oh, tough one there. Gave the commentators curse in the first half about how South Sydney just fall into sync when they start from the set start in good attacking position. This will be the same again here. Just watch the flow and the combination work, particularly the spine and where they get across the field and they just link with one another.
So Noale is the first to carry it forward.
Francis, early Francis.
Arrow at first receiver here, Shaq Mitchell. Punched out 9 runs last week in the All-Stars game.
2 feet. Go to Moses. You need to be quicker.
Here's Ilias. A flat ball for Arrow. An offload now for Walker. Trouble. Walker. Masilla does enough, but still Walker gets it on. And Graham, we've seen his strength in defence today, and he's strong enough to get over the line here.
Time off.
But Lomax getting underneath with a bit of help from Sloan. Walk it back here with still some tackles to work with.
Take it 3, 1 foot on the line. On the line here, guys. I'll let you know, Cam. We'll just wait. 1 foot. When you're ready. Go 3.
Already hands on knees for some of these Dragons early in the second half.
Moses, Francis, let him up.
So Moale, second hit up in this set.
6 more.
Oh, 6 more. That's a killer. Now it's Walker on the angle. Here's a strong run from Mitchell. And well saved. Looked like Mitchell was going to get there. That's going to be a penalty.
I understand that, but he does interfere in play. It's unfortunate, mate, but you do interfere.
I like that play from South Sydney on the left. Normally they play out the back, trying to get it to Johnston, but Cody Walker speed across, bringing back Latrell Mitchell. That's a good tackle from Jaden Sewers. Not many people that could stop Latrell that close to line, and they were under assault here, the Dragons' defence, and that's where the penalty came.
Probably, well, good explanation there from Peter Goff. It's unlucky for the Dragons, but that is always going to be a penalty. So we've got Mbai on report. Okay. And Shaq Mitchell just happy to work it into the line. That's his 7th run, so he's certainly been busy since entering the game late in the first half. Now the crash through play, and Davey Moale scores. Davey Moale's over. They're into the 30s. No signs of letting up the red and green.
Yeah, multiple tackles back to back. There's a penalty and a reset set of 6. Just look at the deception here. Damien Cook looks to play on the outside to Jai Arrow. Moale comes straight back through the middle, and doesn't Damien Cook like it? Deception, disguise, goes out the right-hand side, brings the big middle forward back through the middle. And Damien Cook can sometimes look a little clunky moving around the post near the try line with his passing game, but that time, very, very well played. Nice craft from the number 9.
Davey Moale yet to score in the NRL. And a game proper, but 14 matches already, and he's 19, and they are delighted with his progress. Well, they've got 33 minutes, the Dragons, to give their fans something to look forward to get excited about. Because this, to this point, has been devastating. And now South Sydney have equalled the biggest margin in Charity Shield history, and every chance while the guns are on to extend the margin further. Down to James Hooper.
Enormous raps on this young man, Davey Moale, Dan. He is only 19 years of age, a South Sydney local junior from the Coogee Randwick Wombats club. And when you debut in the hardest position on the field, front row, as a teenager and handle it, clearly you've got to be a little bit special. So big things expected on the Dragons. Anthony Griffin at halftime, a very direct appraisal. He has challenged the Dragons to make an attitude adjustment. Clearly we haven't seen that yet. He said South Sydney look as though they want it more and they have greater desire.
Geez, that's always stark, isn't it, when a coach basically says you're not having a go. Don't forget Penrith St Helens, the big one that's coming up after this game. Actually, in the drinks break, I believe we're going to head to Penrith. A little scene setter there as Jacob Host comes through. Or rather, that's Jai Arrow in the 12. There's now Cook up to halfway. So they get through yet another set. That'll be 21 from 25. Not usually known as an efficient side in that regard, South Sydney. Sloan under pressure, and Walker barrels him. There's a strong bit of contact. It's going to be a very real question for the next couple of weeks. What do the Dragons do with the number 1 position? It seems as though it was Tyrell Sloan's, and that was the plan through the pre-season, and that may continue to be the case. Here's a penalty. No, yes, it's a penalty to St George Illawarra.
Stop short.
Boy, just for a moment, I thought Peter Goff was going the other way. It's Ben Lovett in the headgear today. Didn't wear headgear last week, I don't believe, but in that extra bit of protection.
You talk about the fullback spot. Ramsey with his health issues at the moment. That man on your screen, Tyrell Sloan, has a lot of talent, a lot of top shelf talent, but it's fundamentals of the game he needs to improve, particularly with that Davey Moale try. He was around that area and should have been in position to make a tackle.
So Sullivan and now Furi Mayono in the game. Out it comes to Sloan. What's he got here? He gives it to Lomax. Lomax, though, handled. Tass first and then Graham. So both the starting centres in the same portion of the field now. Furi Mayono. It started for him at South Sydney. Just want to get through this game unscathed. The trial last year saw him miss 5 weeks. Oh, here's a little dart from Moses Mbai, and the Dragons finally on the board. Moses Mbai out of dummy half. And finally something for the Red V.
It was a penalty that they got. That's the field position. And the man, Moses Mbai, started playing 6, moved into dummy half halfway through that first half. Comes out the short side, and Lachlan Ilias just turns out completely on Murdoch Masilla and gave up his inside shoulder. That's a poor read from the halfback, and Damien Cook one-on-one, and Moses Mbai can't hold him. But talk about defensive, I don't think Jason Dimitri is going to be happy with that. Moses Mbai, nice little dummy to the big back rower, and Lachlan Ilias took it.
So it took 50 minutes, but the Red V gets there first. Moses Mbai, Coop, question on the spot. Where does he best slot into this team? He can play all these different positions. What do you reckon?
He's solid. There's no doubt that Moses can cover a lot of positions. Starting 6, moved into 9. He's played fullback before for the Dragons. But I think it depends on what Sloan and Jaden Sullivan do. Like, can these young kids grab their opportunity and take it? His probably best position is 14. The ability to come on and play multiple positions at different stages. But I think it depends on what the young kids do. The young kids can really grasp their opportunity and grow and be that link and support to Ben Hunt. And Moses Mbai might be on the bench, but if not, he'll be the fix for one of those spots.
Plenty of halves football, particularly at Canterbury. Lomax now, first shot of the day. Got it. 32 points to 6. James Hooper.
On Moses Mbai, Dan, the plan over the course of the off-season was he was going to play dummy half. He was going to share that responsibility with new recruit Jacob Little. But then with Junior Ramon suspended, Jack Bird also sustaining a knee injury in the pre-season. Jaden Sullivan is playing today but has had hamstring issues. So that's how he ended up at 5'8".
Yeah, and Little is a live wire, but not exactly an 80-minute player. So they're going to need that 14, aren't they? Someone to fill that role, whether it's Mbai, whether it's Sullivan. There's Blake Laurie. Oh, brings it back with force. Mbai in the dummy half roll here. 28 minutes to go. Mbai now just going for a dart. Hunt now at dummy half. Zane Musgrove. He spent some time at South. Laurie now for a hard-running Ben Murdoch-Masilla. Through a fair bit of game time today, Ben Murdoch-Masilla. Now the high ball up by Hunt, looking for a contest. Not the easiest catch, but well handled, Jacob Gagai. And this is Josiah Karapani, the young centre. And he'd like that over. He'd like that one over. So the Dragons enjoying a good little period here. Now they've got a chance for back-to-back tries.
Options there to challenge it. Oh. Jeez, I think Mo Zembai's.
Yeah.
Referees claiming that South have moved off the mark and therefore Mo Zembai was holding his ground. So time's elapsed. It'll be the Dragons scrum. Let's see what they can do here. So they're loaded up on the short side. And they've got Tyrell Sloan trying to use his skill and speed to the short side.
Oh, Sloan! Yes, puts the foot down, but hauled in by Cody Walker. That was a dynamic bit of footwork and pace off the mark. So that's encouraging from Tyrell Sloan. Oh, that's a hard shot there. Sullivan wears one from Arrow. Right into the midriff. Yeah, that's winded him. Sullivan goes down again. Laurie just over the 10. Now back for Hunt. Oh, another hard one there. Walker. Sullivan appeared to fall into that.
You do get him high back, Cody. I understand that.
So empathy from Peter Goff, but a penalty nonetheless. So that was Moale, the first one. It was that first tackle. Didn't notice from our angle that Moale contact. But it was Walker giving the penalty away. So the Dragons. A little sloppy at dummy half, but they continue.
At dummy half?
Yeah, they did pick up that end by knock on. That's a waste for the Dragons.
Scrum south. Where do you want the feed?
Can't challenge, they burned it.
Used it before.
Challenge is gone. He lost it in the last one. Where do you want the scrum? Middle. Scrum to your clock side.
Ooh. There was a bobble there. Yeah, that's a knock on every day of the week. You can't use the ground.
Don't think he would have won a
chance.
a challenge there.
Let's form up here, guys, on that clock.
Again, it's the pressure passing, whether it's the clunkiness of the movement, the combinations of the Dragons' attack, short passes in the line, but the rushing defence of South Sydney get up and cause
10 seconds, nice and tight.
sort of stress and agitation amongst the attack. Yeah, good movement for South Sydney. It's a good sign that they're defending their line, but in terms of the Dragons' attack, again, just no rhythm and very clunky.
So 33 degrees right now. They're in Mudgee with 34% humidity. The rain we're expecting, well, as you can see, it's not present. One storm missed us and another one looks like it might miss us as well. Murray distributing. Arrow. He's already been pinned for a forward pass, and that one picked up as well.
Yeah.
A little tardy today, Damien Cook with those dummy half balls.
It's funny, like Cam Murray back in the contest, and a nice little touch gave Joe Arrow the quick play of the ball. And again, he was up over the advantage line before the forward pass and had Cody Walker on the inside. So with fatigue starting to set in the middle forwards defensively for the Dragons, that medium screen along with the combination of Cam Murray really might be able to get some front foot footy for some of the star players and rack up a few points here in the back, because it's one area that Dragons have not done well today, is that middle third defensively.
Stay tight, Latrell. Clock off. Ball in. Break. That's good.
So it's on to Lomax.
Campbell. 2 feet on the line. 2 feet. Hold.
It's Campbell Graham. Oh, thrown off.
Wait.
Like a bull rider there, Graham was tossed aside. Oh, there's a heavy shot. Arrows brought the heat in this second half. That was Blake Laurie knocked off his feet. And Zane Musgrove now. So 26-0 at the break. 6-all since. Sullivan with a run. You heard the sound for a new set. Little back in the contest. Hunt turning it in. Murdoch Masilla loves an offload. Hunt picking it up. Now it's sent out here to Sewer. throws a bullet to Ravalawa. Haven't seen much of Ravalawa since he had a try disallowed in the first half. Hunt. Oh, 6 more tackles coming. Sewer. Oh, does he know? He mustn't know. Oh, 20-metre tap, 7 tackles set.
I'm not sure what to say about that, Dan, because the ball's just hit the deck, 7 tackles set, reset. And Jaden Sewer, nothing doing. And all he decided is try to ignite the attack by kicking the ball dead and making his team tackle again. But that whole set of 6 sums up the Dragons' performance here this afternoon.
Well, you could see where Peter Goff was on that replay, albeit for a split second. He wasn't that far away from Jaden, so you imagine Jaden should have heard the 6 again call as it sent out. All Graham lost it. Gee, Souths are getting very loose in this second half. Yet again, the Dragons presented with some pretty good field position here.
Captain's challenge. South's challenging on-field ruling of a knock-on.
Well, looked like a knock-on first viewing, but we wait and see now.
Yeah, Rabbitohs are challenging the ruling of a knock-on, looking to see if the ball is knocked forward by Campbell Graham.
Now, if it's off Moga, then Graham's lost it into him.
Campbell Graham knocks the ball forward at this point and never regains possession before it's contacted by a Dragons player.
That's
the challenge is
my apologies,
unsuccessful.
Matt Fionney. So
Cody, hey,
that's it.
Problem all game, mate. Don't start now.
Jared Sutton can put the feet up for a while. We only need him and the bunker for the big ones. If there's a try scored, no more challenges left.
That's what normally happens in this preseason challenge towards the back quarter of most games. You know, some inexperienced younger players come on the field, and there's some drop balls. We saw last night's games, and again the last 5 minutes of this contest. A lot of errors. Now South Sydney have already showed us what they can do. It's really up to the Dragons to knuckle down and jump on the opportunities that South Sydney have given here in the last couple of minutes, particularly that knock on from Campbell Graham.
Blake Taff in the game now in the 14 jersey for Souths.
Stand together, get square. Back here, Tom. Hold. Go. Inside, I got him,
Sullivan to Sully.
Move now. Here and hold.
Tass low, Burgess up top. Little to Sullivan. Sullivan to Hunt. Hunt across field. Sloan now into Murdoch-Masilla. Just up to the 20. As it goes across the line here. This is slick here. Sullivan. Chance. Sullivan scores. Dragons go back to back, and Jaden Sullivan has a nice little moment.
Nice little touch there from Jaden Sullivan, but I like what they did. Shift the ball out to the left-hand side. Another big elaborate play to the right-hand side. And the man with the speed and acceleration sliced up the defence of South Sydney because it was split wide, sideline to sideline, through the dummy. Cody Walker fell for it and just went straight through. But the fact that the Dragons were playing sideline to sideline, and then Jaden Sullivan got the ball out the back, threw a dummy, dropped it back a gear, hit the accelerator. That's the reason why he went through. So smart play there from the young man.
So 32-0 becomes 32-10. And Jaden Sullivan. 4 first-grade tries for him in his 15-game career. It's going to be in the 17 somewhere, you imagine. The question is where. So we're about to have a drinks break here as we've now crossed the 60-minute mark. Well, that expression hasn't changed all that much. Guides it through. 2 from 2 for him. There, they've got something to cheer about, the Dragons fans. They enjoy an afternoon here in Mudgee watching some NRL players go around. 32-12, time for a drinks break, and of course we're getting ready for the big one. That's at Penrith, and that's where we go to Matt Russell.
Clearly a short pre-season, but tonight the footy's back. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling really good. Very happy that the footy's back. Obviously, it's been a short but tough pre-season. You know, they don't get any easier, so definitely happy to be back out here in front of our home fans and obviously presented with a unique opportunity to versus St Helens, and really looking forward to it.
A unique opportunity indeed. In some respects, it is a pre-season trial. In another aspect, it is a World Club Challenge. What have Penrith players made of this?
Oh, it's definitely more than a trial for us. You know, World Club Challenge, they don't come around too often, and Penrith as a club has never won one. So, you know, we say it as a great challenge. Obviously, St Helens have won 4 comps in a row, but we also said it's a great opportunity to do something special. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
Good luck, Nathan.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Matty Russell. And we'll be there after this game.
I think the thing about the Dragons, they've looked quite clunky this afternoon. They're trying to play the power game with the ball in hand and haven't got the leg speed or the quick play the balls. But when they have looked okay, it's when the second phase. The offload, zinging out to their centres with Lomax and Sully. Now, it's unreliable, the style, playing offload football against good defensive teams, but the more that the Dragons can play sort of lateral football with offload and get the ball to their centres and the quick players with Sloan and Sullivan, I think that could be a style, but they have to be very effective with their hands, choose the right time, because it's a style that doesn't hold up under pressure, but that's the way they've looked the best this afternoon.
Yeah, 14 offloads now. 21 tackles in the South, 20 South, just 11 at the other end. Similar percentage, really, tackles in the opposition half. So it's not as if they haven't had field position. And Tyrell Sloan wouldn't mind a good last 20 minutes here just to perhaps solidify that number 1 spot. He's had some testing moments this afternoon. Just on that World Club Challenge, a lot of the Penrith players, most of the guns, it's their first game since the World Cup. St Helens, we saw, they're for real. They're not out here just to get a suntan, you know, spend a fortnight in Manly. What chance do you give the team from the north of England against a team that possibly could be rusty?
I thought St Helens looked good in the first sort of 15 minutes against the Dragons last week. Couple of their James Roby dictated terms, young Wellesby at the back. So, yeah, their attack looked pretty slick, but I dare say the best defensive team we've got in Penrith in the competition will work out a way to shut down the St Helens attack.
Yeah, they might be rusty, but it's a damn good-looking team, the Penrith team. Cooper Cronk, by the way, a 2-time World Club Challenge champion. That's on his business card. And by the way, the game after, Brisbane, North Queensland, I don't know if you've seen the team the Cowboys have presented. You would think someone's told them they're playing for 2 points. It's an awesome-looking team they've presented. Oh, Tyrell Sloan. Now he gets into the clear. Oh, he almost gets boot the ball. Look out, Latrell now. He winds up. He gets up to halfway. Well, it's all of a sudden opened up here in Mudgee.
Stand now. Get square with me. Oh, yeah, hold now. Go 0.
And there's Tom Burgess bustling Tyrell Fuimaono out of the way. Geez, if the Dragons scored there, we'd be, oh, Ben Lovett gets through. I'm starting to think repeat of last night where the Roosters, in a short space of time, created a bit of a contest against Manly. Manly impressive in that win. South Sydney impressive for most of this contest. Now it's fired out. Walker, left foot step. He's over. And it doesn't take South Sydney long to hit back. Walker gets his second. He gets a lot of doubles, Cody Walker, and he's got one today in the Charity Shield.
And to put that down to Jacob Gagai. It was Gagai that chased back, got the ankle tap on Sloan just before he kicked it. And they get the ball down here. And just watch Cody Walker. Big left foot step, another one. And again, straight through the heart of the Dragons' defence. Now, Anthony Griffin seems to be an old school coach where the middle forwards, it's the grunt, it's the engine room, and you must be able to defend. This afternoon, South Sydney have scored 4 tries. That's the 4th, straight through the heart of the defence of the Dragons, and that's one thing that he has to fix up. Might be lucky that the Dragons have the bye in round 1, but there's an area they have to fix up. But as you said, Dan, Cody Walker, with time and space on the left-hand side, just was toying with them then. Left foot, and went straight back through and found a lazy defender, not filling the space, and put the ball down under the sticks.
So 2 tries apiece in this second half now as Mitchell guides another one through. 38-12. 16 and a half minutes. 50, I don't believe has ever been achieved in the Charity Shield. No, that biggest winning margin of 48-16, 32 points, that 48 is the highest score by South Sydney or the Dragons in this concept, in this game. It's 40 years old. There's a couple of very, very accomplished players. Geez, they've got some gun players, haven't they, the St Helens outfit. Apparently all week not acknowledged the heat. Just said, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to pretend it's not there.
It's the old trip to Canberra in the middle of winter. It's not cold. Never mention the word.
How many games has James Roby played now? 500.
500 and something.
He makes your mate Cam Smith look like a wuss.
He's been a star, James Roby, the Super League competition.
Hasn't he just? It's a fair effort, 4 comps in a row. Getting into sort of Wigan in the 80s and 90s territory. And now it's down here for Terrell Carlaw. As now, I'll tell you what, we can't complain about the Stars and their minutes today. They're starting to disappear.
22,
but 65 minutes for a lot of them. That's
all the way, Tom. 2 feet kick coming, 0.
It's excellent for a trial game. Dragons now gifted a chance.
Out to get the 2 metre.
Little for Lauren.
Release. Get square, Cameron. Cam, you're not square.
It's going to be a short side run there. That was evasive footwork. Chopped down though. Deontay Arpa. He was so impressive last week making the tackle. Now Hunt shows it. Oh, delightful pass. Matt Fionney. Saloon passage to the line. There's a beauty from Ben Hunt. And that's 3 tries now for the Dragons.
That was magical from Ben Hunt. Finished 3rd in the Dally M last year. And have a look at this. Shift all the way to the other side, and a big elaborate dummy that holds up South Sydney's defence. And Richie Kenner takes the bait. South Sydney winger comes in, and Ben Hunt, big show underneath, and then the big bullet pass over the top. Sets the try up for Fionney, but Ben Hunt, that was beautiful ball playing. Knew what he was doing, held it up, toyed with him. Defensive winger took it. Beautiful pass over the top.
Matt Fionney, nice little finish. Not that he had much to do there. Certainly less to do than that wonderful try he scored against the Broncos last year. One of the tries of the season. So he really has cemented a spot, hasn't he, on the Dragons' wing. So Lomax is his toughest. Has it got the distance? It does. Doesn't look like he gets them flush, but they're effective enough. 3 from 3. 38 points to 18. Here's James Hooper.
And South Sydney coach Jason Demetriou has seen enough for the afternoon. Danny's put the Ferraris in the garage. No more Latrell Mitchell, no more Campbell Graham, no more Damien Cook. But as you touched on, a super showing from those players over the course of 65 minutes. The Bunnies, they look on target for a big season. And now the chance to see some of their generation next players. Peter Mamazoulis will play dummy half. Then you've also got the likes of Terrell Carlo, Josiah Karapani. They're all names of the future.
They sure are. Thank you, Hoops. I'll tell you what, South, their first game, one of the matches of the round. that's a round that starts Parramatta, Melbourne, a barnstormer at Combank. That's your Thursday night game. The Dolphins debuting Sunday afternoon at Suncorp against the Roosters. We'll all be watching that one to see how the new club goes. But South Cronulla, Saturday night at Shark Park, that's a beauty.
Sharks be reeling out straight sets last year, had a great consistent season. They come up against South in that game, and South were electric. They were very, very good.
South pummeled them in that final to end the Cronulla season, but it's down in the Shire. There's a kick that will find the line. So 12 minutes and 30 seconds to go. We've remarked on South and Jason Demetrio giving his guns plenty of game time, and I'm sure the fans here in Mudgee appreciate that. Ben Hunt, that's probably the end of him, but 68 minutes, his afternoon's work. So picking up from where he left off, it seems. Some very good moments for Ben Hunt in a badly beaten team. Cam Murray is continuing on. That's another loose pass out of dummy half. Cook punished a couple of times. Mamazelos perhaps getting away with that. There's Murray, or put down. Dion Taupa is the man that drops that one. If you missed it last week, electric in the first half against Manly. A couple of ripping tries. That's Michael Cheekham there, veteran now. He'd be pretty happy, wouldn't he, Jason Demetrio, from what he's seen this afternoon.
You normally don't see Cam Murray have a bad pass when he's playing out the back to his ball player, but when you move plays around and young Taupa comes in, the movement of Taupa out the back of shape might be different to Cody. So Cam Murray is so used to the silky smooth movement of Cody Walker. He got that pass wrong. The young Taupa just couldn't handle it.
Cam Murray has openly said that's a forward pass. That's probably the worst forward pass of the day. That's unfortunate. That's Michael Molo there. Yeah, Murray said still very much open to rugby background. He signed up till 2025 though, so you won't be going anywhere for a while, Cameron Murray.
Do not let Cameron Murray leave our game. If I'm South Sydney, he is the future of that club. I know there's some stars. I know there's Latrell and Cody and Damien Cook, but Cam Murray right now is a really top shelf, one of the best players in that competition for all parts of it. Performance, skill, reputation, great ambassador for our game, so do not let him go across.
Back to me, both feet.
As the Bunnies now back on the attack. Cheekham played all three finals last year, Michael Cheekham. Tom Burgess. Mamazelos to a running Murray. Always has those hands out in front, ready to pass, and he does pass. And fallen on here by Junior Totola. 2 tackles left. That's a well-read play there. Mbai all over Tom Fletcher. So the last here, Ravalawa under it. Trying to balk him there was Tass, and it might be mission accomplished. Yeah, it is a knock-on in goal, so Tass there just sticking the arm out and making life a little bit more difficult for Michaeli Ravalawa.
Well called, Dan. That made him blink and he dropped the ball because it looked like it was going to be a simple catch for Ravalawa, but Tass just did enough. Watch this. Gets through the blockers, puts his hand up. Ravalawa should have taken that.
Isaiah Tass, 16 games last year. Played in the All-Stars last week. His form and his game continues to rise. Burgess, his 11th run. Murray down the middle. Tries to do it on his own. Almost does. 4 of them needed to stop him. Here comes here. This is Carlo. The 19-year-old Glenmore Park Brumby. Murray, a little flat-footed here, and Moale still with the strength in the legs to drag those defenders along. So on the last is Tiapa and Ravalawa. He might have been better off letting that go. I think he knows he probably could have let that one go.
Bit too cautious, I think, Dan. Dropped the chocolates last time, and this one here, he didn't want to misread it, but he thought that was definitely going over the dead ball line.
Here's the restart. Oh, he's up there trying to make up for it too, and he almost did. Geez, that'd be hard in mouth stuff. You've got a line dropout coming towards you, and you've got big Macaulay Ravalawa bearing down. South though, back inside the 10. Jack Mitchell. John Tiapa onto Blake Taff. Memizelos, just for a split second, looked like he was going to get there. Jack Mitchell here. He can offload, but he's not a miracle man. Just happy to play it in front of the posts. They're working on the Murray side. Cheekham, 100 first grade games, brought that up in their prelim final last year. Short side, oh, Taff crafty, and it's a try. Jacob Gagai of a Ravalawa drop. A clever kick from Blake Taff, and South's into the 40s.
Yep, Ravalawa, another drop on 3 sets for South Sydney. And as you caught, look at this, not much going on the left-hand short side. Blake Taff steps off the left in the same movement, puts a nice grubber kick into the in-goal, and the speed at which it bounced put Ravalawa under pressure, and Jacob Gagai gets it. He's had a couple of nice plays this afternoon. Jacob Gagai got the ankle tap on Sloan when he got the backfield, got the ball back for the Cody Walker try, and then again pounced on that, but pressure on Ravalawa. Great work from Taff. Well done, Gagai.
So, yes, brother of Dane, Jacob Gagai, 26 years of age. Blake Taff's hardly put a foot wrong in this pre-season period. He did some nice things last week at Gosford. Here's Jacob. He was part of these games last year. And now Taff. So 50 is still a possibility here, but hang on. Was he onside, Jacob Gagai? This might be what they're looking at here. Now he's got the all clear. Yes, he was onside.
Really interesting role that Taff plays this year. He's got the 14 jersey on today, and there's that his role going forward for South Sydney. Obviously got dynamic spine. Can he be a bit hit player for Damien Cook at different stages at 9? Can he support Cody Walker at the 6? And so it'd be interesting to see his role that he plays.
And no good. So 24 the margin. There's Cam Murray. Finally, he's been given a rest. South Sydney, see the players, Tane Milne there in the background, Liam Knight, Hame Sele. There's some of the few players, Saliva Havili as well, unavailable for round 1. But that's about it. It's a pretty strong lineup that will take on Cronulla. They're going to jinx it like last night, but it looks like the bulk of the players, in fact, pretty much all of them today, will have got through, certainly to this point anyway. Penrith St Helens, that's our next game. Be back to the Clive Churchill studio after this to build it all up with Vonnie and Mick Ennis and Corey Parker. I think I might have had you in the studio at one point, Coop, but Corey Parker and Mick Ennis doing the hard yards this afternoon here on Fox League with Von. And then tomorrow, 4 games. How good are those 4-game Sundays? Get to see the Dolphins again. They take on the Gold Coast. There's a kick from Taff. Plenty of height on this distance as well. Sloan.
On now.
It's been a better second half for Tyrell Sloan, hasn't it, Coop?
He's improved in different places, but he still needs to become more consistent. Had 2 errors on the drop in the first half, but then there was also that defensive lapse where Moale scored in the second half. So there's no doubt this kid can get in the backfield and he can light up a game with one touch, but I dare say that work for him in the next period of his development is getting those high percentage players becoming more consistent in all areas of the game.
Dan Russell, the 22 for St George Illawarra, a Queenslander. Oh, hello. Here's a run from Burns, and now Little is away and scoring. And the Dragons get over again. So all 4 tries now have come in the second half, and it's Little. Once he gets ahead of the pack, he is impossible to stop.
Again, it's one thing I've been harping on all afternoon is the quick play the ball. They get one of the very few quick play the balls. Little is out, calls in havoc, gets across field, throws a nice long pass to Burns hitting the hole and then backs up. And it's one thing that Anthony Griffin needs to do. Here it is, quick play the ball, Little out, retreating defence, bullet pass, Burns hitting the hole. It's one thing that Anthony Griffin needs to do between now and round 2 on that Sunday afternoon, which will be their first game, is how do they develop a power game through their middle third and generate quick play the balls for the likes of Little, more Ben Hunt in particular, to get sort of Tyrell Sloan involved in the game. That's the key for their attack.
So 24 now for the Dragons, 42-24, just to make a bird of these stats. Neither of these sides can win the 100 grand, but 7 line breaks to 6, so they're both going to get a bonus point there. South with the 5th try, they've got 7, so they get a bonus point. Offloads, Dragons have a bonus point. They have 15 offloads to 7. They're unofficial stats, but they all look pretty clear-cut. Manly 29 points, by the way. They were a couple of offloads short last night of closing the whole thing down. So there's 4 clubs that can still win it. Warriors are one of them. St Helens are one of them. And there's 2 others, Bulldogs.
Who was the other one?
I can't remember.
You did well to rattle off those. I lost you when you said line breaks.
Well, 5 line breaks gets a bonus point. Haven't you been listening to us drum it into you for 2 weeks?
Absolutely, I have.
So these next 2.5 minutes might be important to some. The margin 18, 66 points this afternoon. That might be, I think that is the highest scoring Charity Shield. There we go. We've been talking about possible records. Biggest margin long gone. Oh, there's a man collared. That's a heavy tackle. Tom Fletcher, the boy from Canamble. Ball kept in play though. Michael Mulrow. Played 8 games in the top grade last year. South emptied their bench. They have used all 26. Dragons, they've left a few without game time. As it comes out here to Tautau Moga. Almost up to the 20. Oh, he did well to get the offload. The problem was he was straight to an opponent there, Richie Kenner. So the next time we see these 2 clubs, it'll be in the NRL. South Sydney in 14 days against Cronulla. Dragons have to wait another week, and then they take on the Gold Coast. Memazelos didn't get the 6 again. I think he was hoping for there. With 1 minute left in this game. Jarpa is feeding it on. Cheekham, and on the last, might as well try something. And tried to go down the middle with Mitchell, but wrapped up. And we enter the last set of the game. Jack Mitchell, 11 runs for him, so quite prolific. Tries for the Dragons, Fiona, Mbai, Little, Sullivan. South Sydney, double for Walker. Latrell Mitchell, Burgess, Arrow, Moale and Jacob Gagai. And that is a dog's breakfast, but hello, Burns keeps it alive. Phantom Siren is here in Mudgee. The Phantom Siren makes an appearance. Boy, oh boy, maybe Skulls here somewhere too. Here it comes now from the fullback Sloan, and that is the end of that. The trophy once again, the Shield is South Sydney's. They have won the Charity Shield for the 7th time in 8 years. An emphatic first half lays the platform for a 42-24 victory.